The 1950s were a decade defined by UFO fever. Public belief in UFOs is widespread. Recent polls suggest that around 4 in 10 Americans believe at least some UFO sightings may involve extraterrestrial spacecraft, while a majority believe intelligent life exists somewhere in the universe. Starting with the famous 1950 Farmington, New Mexico, Armada sighting and the 1952 Washington, D.C., radar incidents. Farmington, Armada, 1950. Hundreds of witnesses reported dozens of flying saucers zooming over New Mexico over several days. In March 1950, residents of Farmington, New Mexico, reported seeing large numbers of disc-shaped objects flying overhead in what became known as the Farmington Armada. Contemporary newspaper reports described hundreds of witnesses observing dozens of fast-moving objects over several days. Despite numerous theories, no explanation has been universally accepted, and the event remains one of the most famous mass UFO sightings in American history. On May 11, 1950, near McMinnville, Oregon, farmer Paul Trent claimed he saw a metallic, disc-shaped object flying over his family's farm. He reportedly grabbed a camera and took 2 photographs before the object disappeared. The photos were published in local newspapers and later in Life magazine, giving them national attention. The object appears as a metallic disc with a flattened shape suspended in the sky. For decades, the images have been cited by UFO researchers as some of the strongest photographic evidence for an unexplained aerial object. No definitive explanation has achieved universal acceptance. The photographs remain a classic case in UFO history because they are relatively clear, were taken before the era of digital image manipulation, and have been the subject of decades of analysis. The Levelland UFO sightings occurred in November 1957 near Levelland, Texas, not in 1951. Multiple motorists and local residents reported seeing a bright, egg-shaped or glowing object near roadways during a stormy night. Several witnesses claimed their vehicle engines and headlights failed when the object approached and resumed working after it departed. Local law enforcement received numerous reports within a few hours. The U.S. Air Force's Project Blue Book investigated the incident. As public interest in flying saucers grew during the Cold War, the U.S. government launched several investigations. Project Grudge, active from 1949 to 1951, generally concluded that most sightings had conventional explanations. In 1953, the CIA-sponsored Robertson panel reviewed UFO evidence and found no proof of extraterrestrial visitation. The Air Force's longest-running effort, Project Blue Book, investigated more than 12,000 UFO reports between 1952 and 1969, ultimately concluding that most sightings could be explained, though some cases remained officially unidentified. Frank Scully and the Aztec UFO crash story. In the late 1940s and early 1950s, journalist Frank Scully popularized claims that the U.S. military had recovered a crashed flying saucer and the bodies of small humanoid occupants near Aztec, New Mexico. The story was featured in his 1950 book Behind the Flying Saucers. During the 1950s, several individuals claimed to have personally met and communicated with extraterrestrial visitors. These contactees typically described the aliens as friendly, human-looking beings from planets such as Venus, Mars, or Saturn. According to their accounts, the visitors often delivered messages urging humanity to abandon war, avoid nuclear weapons, and pursue spiritual growth. There were media reports in 2025 about researchers examining archival photographs of Cold War nuclear tests and identifying unusual streaks, flashes, or burst-like objects in some images. These reports were often framed as new UFO clues emerging from decades-old government records. Researchers examining archival astronomical photographs reportedly identified several brief, star-like flashes that appeared in historical images from the 1950s. Such transient events can be scientifically interesting because they may represent previously unrecognized astronomical phenomena, satellite glints, cosmic ray strikes on photographic plates, instrumental effects, or other causes. The reported flashes do not, by themselves, constitute evidence of UFOs or extraterrestrial spacecraft. The Pentagon has increasingly released information about UAPs, formerly known as UFOs, as part of a broader effort to improve transparency and encourage military personnel to report unusual sightings. These releases have included videos, reports, and historical records. While some cases remain unexplained due to insufficient data, the Department of Defense has stated that it has found no verified evidence that any investigated UAP represents extraterrestrial technology. One of the released reports describes an incident in 2023 involving federal law enforcement personnel. According to the account, 5 agents observed unusual glowing orbs near the horizon. In the report, one agent recalled their partner asking, "Are you seeing this?" as a bright orb illuminated part of the sky. The observers were unable to identify the objects at the time of the sighting. The Pentagon released a video known as Orbs Over the Pond, recorded in October 2024. According to the accompanying description, the footage shows a light source hovering above a pond at an estimated distance of about 2,700 feet. The sighting reportedly occurred within 25 miles of another incident referred to as the Northeastern Orb sighting. The object appeared as a bright light near the horizon, and its identity was not determined from the available footage. Documents released by the Pentagon include records from the CIA's Scientific Advisory Panel on Unidentified Flying Objects, better known as the Robertson Panel. Convened in 1953, the panel reviewed evidence related to flying saucer reports and concluded that UFOs did not appear to pose a direct physical threat to national security. The panel recommended a public education and debunking effort to reduce public fascination with UFOs, arguing that widespread interest could create vulnerabilities that hostile powers might exploit through misinformation or by overwhelming military communication channels. A 2008 CIA report describes an unidentified object observed near Zimbabwe's Harare International Airport. Witnesses reported a hovering craft-like object that appeared to project beams of light. Because its nature could not be determined, the report was circulated within the U.S. intelligence community and to the White House Situation Room. The available documents show that officials considered multiple possibilities, but they do not establish what the object actually was. After the sighting was reported, an intelligence partner analyzed the event and assessed with low confidence that it may have been caused by sunlight backscattering, a phenomenon in which sunlight reflected from snow-covered terrain, such as Cheyenne Mountain, illuminates the underside of low clouds. Because the assessment was made with low confidence and the available evidence was insufficient to conclusively identify the object, the case remained officially unresolved as of the latest review. In 2026, the Pentagon released a third batch of previously classified historical files concerning unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAPs, commonly known as UFOs. The documents included Cold War-era investigations, intelligence reports, witness accounts, photographs, and internal government assessments spanning decades. The release was part of a broader transparency effort aimed at making historical UAP records available to the public. Do you believe UFOs are real? After decades of sightings, government investigations, declassified documents, and unexplained cases, the question remains as fascinating as ever. Let me know what you think in the comments.